What is up, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Our 6D Journey. My name is Luke Hez, and I'm here to help us build healthy relationships. This topic today has been so heavy on my heart that I feel like I just need to get it out, and I should warn you in advance. A lot of what I'm going to say goes beyond New Age. Ugh, make another pillow. And I would move this into New Age. In the beginning, in the Bible, God created the heavens and the earth, right? Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, there's probably a story somewhere that tells you in the beginning there was nothing. And from nothing came everything else, which is a total and complete paradox, right? Total, complete paradox, because we as humans have a hard time grasping the fact that out of nothingness, we can make everythingness. How is that possible? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. How does this exist? What's going on? Something has to become something else. Nothing can become something. Nothing can't become something, right? Those are the thoughts that are in our head. It's a belief system we have because we're physical beings. We have a physical body. We eat food that become our cells. Our cells then move, right? And so we're all wrapped up. And a lot of New Age people, I feel like, are so wrapped up in being the light that they forget about the power and I'm getting chills, and the just magnanimous energy of the darkness. Because as far as I'm concerned, from darkness came light, and from light comes darkness. They're wrapped up. And I think because we have a bipolar mind, because we have a mind that wants to segregate into good and bad, up and down, positive, negative, light and dark, because our mind wants to segregate, we get obsessed with being good, with being light, with being love, with being blank, 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 blank. And I have something to say today about relationships. All things are part of life. All things are part of God. All things are part of the matrix that we exist in. You cannot have light without darkness. And I think that it's like, it scares me because people get so wrapped up in trying to be the light that in relationships, whether it's a student to a teacher or a parent to a child or lover to lover or friend to friend, they were obsessed with trying to be positive and trying to be good and trying to be blank, 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 blank. And because of that, that means we are actively pushing away the opposite things. We push away negativity. We push away hate. We push away violence. We push away blank. Now, I'm not sitting here and say to go out and be hateful and be violent towards your coworkers. Okay, I ain't saying that. We can still choose, right? We can always choose what it is we want to be. However, those pieces of anger and of violence and of rage and of fear, that's part of who we are. That's part of us. And I think that what happens to a lot of people is that they avoid all those things in relationships, where if someone displays anger or rage or blank or blank or blank or blank or blank, fill those blanks in with yourself, they immediately label that person as bad, and therefore they have to be away from them, and they begin to segregate people based on that. Segregation. Now, here's the thing. When you're dealing with relationships and there's someone in your life who's being negative, or someone who's being a pessimist, or someone who's being hateful, I honestly think the best way to deal with that kind of energy is to openly tell people how it is you're receiving them. Tell them to their face. Because I think what happens is we try to cover them and douse them in our own love. We expend all of our energy to cover them, to like basically treat them like a burrito and take all their insides and cover them in a burrito of love. Well, underneath that tortilla of love is still something that's wrapped up. All that's inside are all the things you're trying to avoid. Anger, fear, anxiety, depression. We avoid them. And I think that what would help people the most is that when you're dealing with your relationships and they display those energies, the first way is to tell them out loud. Tell them what it is that's upsetting you. Tell them. Like, that's number one, which is just honesty and basic communication. Something I talk about on this channel all the time. Honesty and communication. And if that doesn't work, you got two options. Keep suffering through it or get rid of it. And, you know, there's this really weird line because our egos want to step in and they want to tell us, well, we need to be loving, well, we need to be light, well, we need to be this, because they're hateful and dark and that. And that never solves anything, ever. It just doesn't work. You know, the only way to really get someone to absorb the energy and the message of the quote-unquote positive things is to display it. Display it. Without remorse, without explanation, just display it. And then at some point we have to realize and recognize that if that person is actively working against the energy we're trying to feel, let them go. Let them go, and do not do it in silence. Because that's what happens too. We just go into the silent mode and go, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to be passive. I'm just going to let them, I'm just going to ignore their phone calls till they stop calling me. And that's just as dark as what it is that you're perceiving as dark, isn't it? Because you're lying. Lies of omission. Lies of omission. Getting a little cocky. And I think the point is right now that I really want to get across to you guys is that if you're creating shields around you and trying to block out certain energies and feelings and emotions and circumstances of people, you ain't going to go anywhere. You really aren't. But if you actively tell them what it is that's bothering you, and then actively also include, and by the way, if you continue to be disrespectful, if you continue to lie, if you continue to make things up, if you continue to do blank, 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 I no longer want you around me. And that's just a choice. That's a choice because we want to be in a certain vibration. But I think in the end, we have to accept both light and dark. Because it's only when we face the darkness inside of ourselves that we can genuinely understand and move past the darkness in others. But that doesn't mean we have to be around them. It really doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. You can get rid of those people and tell them. Tell them. Have I said that enough in this video? Tell them. Tell them. I'm getting snobby because sometimes you gotta be snobby. You know, and the last thing I'll leave you with is as we evolve in our consciousness and awareness of our understanding of how we process information goes up to a quote-unquote higher level. It's not really higher, it's just different. The people that are underneath us, they won't understand. They won't get it. Because they're not there. They don't have the vocabulary. They don't have that transmission of language. You know, it'd be like a college professor going to teach a first grade class and using the same rhetoric for a first grade class that they use for the college kids. It doesn't work. Sometimes we have to teleport ourselves into that energy, which again, we try to segregate, right? Oh, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be blank. So we again segregate. No, go down, up, there, whatever. Again, down and up, right? They're words. We have to go there and move from there so they can see us. Don't stand on a mountain just hoping that people at the very bottom of the mountain that's 7,000 feet tall can hear you, because they can't. If you want to talk to the villagers, you have to walk down the mountain and tell them. It's like Moses, when he got the tablets from God, that the 10 Commandments. Do you think if he would have kept the tablets up there in the cave, that anyone would learn anything? If I just sit here and hold these tablets, the world will know, because I know. No, that's selfish. Take yourself back down there with the common people and tell them in a language they understand, in actions they understand. If you don't, then you're actually enabling the people to stay there longer. All right. Thank you for choosing to listen to me today. Hope you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.